or more. California has been experiencing dangerous triple digit temperatures. These are sustained temps between 103 to 108. And with that, the risk of heat related illnesses is on the rise that could overwhelm hospitals. And we all know what that was like from COVID. It wasn't good. Nevada is already at 51% above a 2018 average. And other southern states, like Texas, are 37% above normal in hospital capacity. And here's a specific update out of Texas. A 14-year-old boy died at Big Bend National Park from 119-degree heat. Again, for outside of the US listeners, that's 48 degrees Celsius.
Wait,
Fun
what is this
fact,
kid doing outside in 114-degree heat, by the way?
I don't know, maybe people are outside. Who knows? You're on vacation and it's just like that's how hot it is that day,
Jesus.
right? What do you
Jesus.
do?
Yeah.
You try
Yeah.
and tough it out. How hot does that feel? You don't know. And that's the point. Remember, I brought up before.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know. Heat is the type of thing where you don't know it's dangerous until it's too late. You feel
Exactly.
fine until you don't.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Death Valley hit 128 degrees Fahrenheit in July. That's 53.3 Celsius. So the most at-risk people are those that work outside, as we were just talking about, but those inside workers aren't in the clear either, which Antoine also covered last time. Go check out the beginning of episode 129 to hear his take on it. Others at high risk include the elderly, prisoners, the homeless, pregnant people, and anyone with medical conditions. In fact, about half of heat deaths are thought to be from heart attacks that are brought on because of the stress. So people living in concrete dominated cities, especially poor neighborhoods that lack tree cover, are also at higher risk. It's also worth noting that climate change also displaces around, I should say, over 20 million indigenous people every year. They lose historic tribal land due to drought, wildfires, and floods. So it impacts a lot. I mean, there's so much that goes into this stuff. And experts expect these punishing heat waves to drive a record number of heat-related deaths. And you might be asking, well, what are these heat-related deaths? I'm not going to go through them all, but here are a few. Heat exhaustion, heat stroke, dehydration, food and waterborne illnesses from bacteria that replicate faster in hot weather. So there's just a few. So several states have issued warnings to stay hydrated, limit outdoor activity, and remain inside in air conditioning. And again, Antoine pointed out in a previous climate change episode what happens when the electrical grid fails, which they tend to do. So in a previous week, one of these heat alerts impacted over 170 million Americans. So it's less and less of it's happening over there, it's not happening here. More and more Americans are feeling the impacts of climate change. If it hasn't happened to you yet, whether it has and you just don't know it, or it really truly hasn't, it is coming and it will be here very soon.